All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We the brothers out of Great Millstone Valdosta. Back at you again with another weekly live lesson. Um, Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. We start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Hashem, Yahushua,
Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yakakodash.
double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone, whom we teach well. Much peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that are pushing His word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom. You
So,
breaking up somehow or another, brother. Some type of interference coming in.
can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's like some wind blowing in the mic or something. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, okay. Hold on. Yeah, I
Okay,
was
it's clear now.
I was running the AC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in my truck, so I was running the AC. Make sure I have my phone. All right, so we back at you again with another lesson. As you can see, the title says, "You will own nothing and be happy." And this is a quote that was made, in 2016 at the WEF, or what I like to call it, the WTF. God damn, this comment was made in 2016. Yeah, that's a while ago. All right. It says, the quote is, "You will own nothing and be happy," is a phrase from the 2016 World Economic Forum WEF essay by Danish politician Ida Auken, outlining a hypothetical 2030 scenario where goods are accessed via a sharing company rather than owned, while originally intended to envision a future of high-tech efficiency. It is widely criticized as a dystopian, pro-subscription, corporate-led, or communistic agenda. So let me see, where can I find it? Maybe we can pull up the video. Let me see. Maybe we can find it.
The big stuff.
Good news, Tesla fans.
Or that has been vetted. Let me see.
You know the phrase, you'll own nothing and be happy. Yet, its origins might surprise you. Published by Ida Auken in a 2016 World Economic Forum essay,
Fair use, fair use.
she highlights a potential emancipatory and equitable world where people's fundamental needs are met in lieu of a growing 21st century economy focused on service rather than production and consumption. Despite the butchering of the phrase's meaning, the feeling of unease is understandable. There is something slightly ominous even in the phrase's structure, its form. The juxtaposition of nothingness, emptiness, a void, sentenced together with happiness. It's the uncanny valley of phrases. Yet, there's currently two visions in how that phrase can be interpreted. A positive approach where
I was trying to see could I find a video where she actually said it. Wait, I think Klaus Schwab actually quoted it. Let me see.
At this pivotal moment, I see several priorities for the global agenda. We must continue to fight against the global pandemic. We must revitalize the global economy and accelerate its transition to net zero. We must preserve biodiversity by deploying nature-based solutions, and we must narrow the gap between the rich and the poor to achieve more sustainable global development.
Damn, I thought he was going to say it. We're going to show you an example of you will own nothing and be happy. You know, they try to make it seem as if it's something that's going to produce, something that's going to benefit society, but really, it's only going to benefit them. It says I typed in Google the 15-minute city concept. It says the 15-minute city is an urban planning concept where residents can access essential services, work, housing, food, health, education, and culture within a 15-minute walk or bike ride from their homes. Popularized by Carlos Marino and Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo. This chrono-urbanism model promotes dense, mixed-use neighborhoods to reduce car dependency, cut emissions, and improve quality of life. That's what they tell you on the surface. But the true design of it is very, very sinister. You know, so this is a layout of how they want to design these 15-minute cities, put everything close to you to make it seem like it's benefiting you. It will be no cars. This is Esau's idea of the future. And most likely, these cities, you're not going to be able to travel outside of them. You know, so they put it in your face like it's something that's going to benefit humanity or benefit you, but really it's a sinister plan behind it. Everything that these devils come up with, it has a agenda behind it. So let's read this. Is from the the Jimmy Dore Show. 15-minute cities are real and all about controlling you. Let's read this.
For a legal hand to form your business, visit LegalZoom.
Autonomous cars that drive people around. And so if you lose private car ownership, you can't really control where you go. And so these cars would determine, would have specific routes that you could, pay to use.
Speaking of which, yeah, they want to take away your car ownership. They don't want you to have cars. They want to drive you around or have autonomous cars that drive you to where they want you to be. Let's see what this is. Here's the article. It came out in 2023. I just went on the People's Voice and I typed in 15-minute city, and all these different articles came up for different time periods. Some of them are old, but it gets the point across. It says cars to be banned by 2030 under WEF 15-minute city plans. Travel is not a human right. The World Economic Forum has demanded that world governments begin to phase out car ownership with a view to completely banning cars for everyone in the future except people with exceptional social credit scores. What does that mean? If we live in a society where everything is based off a social credit score, if you have a bad credit score, it's just like having bad credit. What can you do with bad credit?
Nothing, pretty much.
Let's go real quick. And everybody knows this. You can't do nothing with bad credit. You can't get a loan. You can't. Well, that's really it. You can't get a loan because if you want to do anything in society, what you got to do? What you got to do?
You got to have good credit.
You got to get a loan. If you want to get a car, you got to get a loan. You want to get a house, you got to get a loan. That means you got to have good credit. If you want to apply for something, you basically got to get a loan. You want to start a business. Sometimes you got to get a business. You got to get a loan to start a business.
And going back to the topic, you will own nothing and be happy. Once you pay for a house or a vehicle, hey, if you don't keep up the tag registration or you don't pay your taxes, Hey, even after you own it, you know, you still got to pay. So basically, you never own anything, even land. If you don't pay your taxes on land, they'll come and take it.
All right. I typed on Google. How does a bad credit score affect you? It says a bad credit score, generally defined as a FICO score below 580, acts as a signal to lenders, aka banks, that you are a high risk borrower. A high risk borrower. As of 2026, this can severely limit financial flexibility and cost consumers with scores of 620 or lower roughly 3,400 more per year in high interest rates and fees, often referred to as a subpar sub premium tax. See, if you got
Mm-hmm.
bad credit, you face higher interest rates. Higher interest rates and fees. You will pay significantly more in interest on car loans, mortgages, and credit cards. Over a 30-year mortgage, a low score can cost tens of thousands more than a good score. See? So let's add the words. So you see how bad a credit score can affect you. They're going to implement a social credit score. What does that mean? Things that you do, things that you say, things that you post online can affect whether you can get a job, whether you can have whether you can get a lot of food, goods and services. I was looking at the video, the article you wanted to sent to the chat. It says a bad social credit score in China as of 2026 acts as an punitive, trustworthiness ranking, leading to severe restrictions on daily life, luxury consumption, and economic activity, inclusive on the dishonest debtor blacklist. Well, also you can't travel as well if you have a bad social credit score. This is often due to unpaid court fines or breaking social regulations, leading to being labeled an untrustworthy citizen. The key consequences of a bad social credit score: transportation bans. Millions are blocked from purchasing flights, business class train tickets, or high speed rail tickets. So that's one thing that's blocked if you have a bad social credit score. So what does this mean? It means total control. So ultimately,
Right.
the MOTB is going to be a heavy part of this new system as well, because the MOTB is about controlling, and you're going to have to use that. You're going to have the chip in order to make purchases. So it says restricted job and education access. Individuals who may be banned from senior management positions in state-owned enterprises, government jobs, and other desirable employment. Parents with low credit scores may have their children barred from attending private schools or universities. See? It says financial and consumption limits. Access to loans is denied, and low scoring individuals are restricted from purchasing luxury items or staying at high end hotels. Public shaming. Dishonest entities and individuals are listed in the public domain and displayed on screens in public places like cinemas and buses. See? So not only do you can't a lot of shit is restricted from you, they publicly shame you by putting your face up. It's like you're a criminal.
FBI most wanted. posted in all the post offices and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
this is completely oppressive. You know, people may think, oh,
Mhm.
this is gonna be better for humanity. Better for who? No, the fuck it's not. It just gives governments more power over you, man.
That's right.
Power over your life, restrict you from traveling. You can't leave. You can't go anywhere. You can't work. How are you gonna survive? That's oppressive, man.
That's right. You know, and I'm sure a lot of these cities have military bases up on them, you know, so they can activate them if they need them, you know, to help control you, you know,
Yeah,
martial
most
law.
that's what they're gonna use. It says
Right.
other restrictions, potential for slower internet speeds, confiscation of pets, and some local trials, and exclusion from dating apps. So you can't do shit. You can't do nothing.
Hmm.
You're severely restricted if you have a bad social credit score, man. But they'll sell it to you like it's something that will benefit you. Yeah, it seems like it'll only benefit you if you got a good credit score. Just like if you got good credit. If you got 900 credit score, you can do any fucking thing. But if you got a 500 credit score, you can't do anything. See, this type of system is very, very oppressive. It says difficulty improving score. Repairing a bad score requires mandatory waiting periods, sometimes up to 5 years, mandatory community service, or public apologies, with the score often permanently affecting one's reputation. Wow. It says businesses with low social credit scores are excluded from government procurement bids, face higher oversight, reduced access to credit, and longer customs clearance times.
Mm.
This is an old article. It came out in 2025. Came out last year. Surviving the social credit score. Could you survive the social credit score? I never checked this website out, so I'm gonna just probably look through some of this. It says most people are familiar with credit scores and how they impact a person's ability to take out a homeowner's loan or other type of borrowing. Now, some countries are looking to social credit scores to manage their population. The keyword manage. Actually, go ahead and get that precept before I read.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, starting at verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right. Satan, which is the adversary, is not going to get an advantage of us because we are not ignorant of his devices. If we're ignorant, that means not to know. But we have awoken from sleep. The Lord has woken us up. So as NLT says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are not ignorant. We are familiar with his evil schemes, and this is exactly what this is. It's an evil scheme. Let's go to book Psalms chapter 10. The wicked boast of their hearts to die. Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. It says, why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? Because we need help. We know the plans of the elites. We know what they want to do. So we need help from on high, from the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. We need salvation. We need to be delivered out of here. It says, the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. This is nothing but persecution.
That's right.
They're just calling it by a different name. It's like it's financial persecution. It's all kinds of persecution. You cut off somebody's money, you really shut them out of everything. Because if you don't have money, you can't afford a place to live. You can't afford food. You can't afford water. because everything is centralized and controlled by the powers that be. You can't be self-sufficient. And that's the society that they want to bring. Everything is controlled by them, and you have to go to them for everything. It says the wicked in his pride that persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices they have imagined. For the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom Yahweh abhorred. So the wicked boast of their heart's desire. And you're gonna see real, that going back to the name of the lighter title of the lesson, you will own nothing to be happy. This is their heart's desire, to have complete control over you. So I'm gonna play this video, and then I'm gonna read a little bit more on that article that I just looked at.
About the many.
Salakia. Did you hear that while I didn't have it on the channel?
I didn't hear it.
Okay, Salakia, I'm gonna restart it.
Can't really control where you go. And so these cars would determine, would have specific routes that you could, pay to use.
Yeah, like a transit system. They have transit system. You can go, cars take you, trains and buses take you to certain spots. She was describing how, they have these cars that are autonomous. They drive themselves, and they're basically going to be cars that take you places, just like a transit system.
So what is their attraction to 15-minute cities? What is that? What is their obsession with making people live in 15-minute cities?
So I haven't written extensively about 15-minute cities, but I would argue that the goal there is basically to have people more or less corralled into an area where they're easily surveilled and controlled. And that's basically the interest here. The interest here is how do a small few rule the many forever without the many ever being able to complain or do anything about it. And so ultimately, this ruling system that they've been attempting to impose on people really around the world, because this is a global governance project at the end of the day, is, using big tech tools in mass surveillance to basically create an entirely new way of life and system of living. And part of that is to basically reduce the share of what the many, i.e. the 99% or whatever.
Yeah, so basically your freedoms will be taken away. Your so-called freedom. This is the land of the free, home of the brave, right? Land of the fool, home of the slaves.
So, a lot of this, became extremely, unpopular, but also like people learned about it during the COVID era because of, these groups like the World Economic Forum, which, by the way, bills itself as the premier promoter of public-private partnerships. Basically,
what happened during COVID? What happened during COVID? Oh, what happened in 2020 during CV19? What happened? People was forced to do what?
Yeah, they were forced to quarantine themselves.
Yeah, stay in the house, right?
Yeah, walking around with looking like a bandit, like you finna rob somebody with them masks on.
Yeah, but the main thing they did was force everyone to stay home.
Yeah,
you can't leave the house. And if you leave the house, you have to have a mask on. They basically use that pen. They use that pen, that Dimmick, to show you what they ultimately want to bring in the future. That's the type of society we want to bring. Everybody's not working. They provide you with a what? What happened to people during CV 119? What did we receive? Right? Didn't we receive money?
Right.
We received checks, right? Because we wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And what did it what is the term for that? Universal based income. You see? So CV19, that was just a test run. They made everybody shelter in place and basically stop going to work. Everything changed to online. That was
That's
a test.
right.
That
Mhm.
was a test run of what they really want to bring. You couldn't leave the house. You gotta everything changed to online. The streets was empty. Everybody was in their homes.
You know,
Like
in certain places you went, they would check your temperature as soon as you walk in the door. They had those devices to check your temperature and all this kind of shit. Yeah, that was a form of the MOTB.
so it's all about control, man. And 2020 was nothing but a test run.
Right.
We need to not own our cars. We need to rent them, and there should be autonomous fleets of Ubers that drive everyone around a specific radius. We shouldn't own homes. We should, rent apartments and then share those apartments when we're not there and we leave. Someone else can occupy the space.
You will own nothing and be happy.
Mm.
They envision a future where everybody is that doesn't own anything. Everything is given to you. When you look at the movie 1984, this is exactly what they're preparing for. A society where they provide you with everything that you need. Your food is rationed to you. You receive a UBI, and they be like, "Oh, this is going to be better for you." No, the fuck it's not. You don't own the house. You don't own anything, and they are just controlling your life and giving you GMO foods for the rest of your life. And then they put a chip, a C-hip inside of you, place you in a 15-minute city where you can't leave that city without you constantly being surveilled. You're being watched. Certain movies are banned. The Bible is banned. Your freedom is non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
But they say it's going to benefit you. It's a bunch of bullshit. So they're going to sell this bullshit to you, but really they're just trying to put you into a prison. It's basically an open air prison. You got it.
That's right.
Finish, play some more.
These were all things that were promoted under the guise, of sustainability and other things at the time, but they're actively being, designed and acted upon. Actually, one of the Columbus smart city initiatives that's connected to this Columbus partnership that Wexner ran. He chaired it basically from 2001, I think, until 2021. So like 20 years, including when this was created. Columbus got a huge Department of Transportation grant from the government, and also, funding from private individuals, probably Wexner, but who knows, to basically create a new system that in Columbus where private car ownership, to basically create a new system that in Columbus where private car ownership would not exist, and instead it would be fleets of, smart cars, autonomous cars that drive people around. And so if you lose private car ownership, you can't really control where you go. And so these cars would determine, would have specific routes that you could, pay to use and what have you. And interestingly,
limiting your travel because they don't want you to go nowhere. You got to let's see.
enough. This was actually a goal for the entire United States, described in this by this National Security Commission on AI, which was chaired by Eric Schmidt of Google, and had a lot of these same big tech guys who have major roles at companies with New Albany data centers. And they basically said that in order for the US, they said, to beat China in AI, it was necessary to end private car ownership in the United States and instead have autonomous Waymos, basically drive fleets of them, Uber everybody around to where they were supposed to go, and have things, sort of planned out by AI, like where people are going, where people are working, and all of.
Which they have those now. They have the Waymo self-driving cars. They have cars that drive themselves. Inside Waymo's self-driving car, day in life of a fully autonomous future. See, this video came up 3 weeks ago. So they already have these type of vehicles ready. The technology's out there. Self-driving cars. Let's finish this out.
Of this, and so the Technocracy Inc. model that you highlighted earlier, it was really influenced by things like Taylorism and a lot of these schools of thought that came out of the Industrial Revolution that prioritize efficiency above all else. Having the trains run on time and all of that stuff being, the kind of obsession of these people in that particular era. And so they want to sort of apply that not just to industry, but to micromanaging people's lives as they, extract and exploit us for data and how much money our serf-like lives will make for them.
Come see me in Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Nevada. May 7th, it's a Thursday special show in Burbank, California. Tickets going fast. And then
all right, so as you can see, 15-minute cities are nothing but a open air prison. I got to this article right here. It's from the People's Voice. It says 15-minute city nightmare unleashed. Glasgow joins worldwide 2026 open air prison rollout. This came out December 26, 2025. It says the globalist plan is accelerating at breakneck speed. Cities across the planet are being transformed into 15-minute zones. And the latest proof just dropped in Glasgow, where the council approved the massive Cook Street urban garden project. It says this multi-million-dollar scheme cramps 750,000 square feet of apartments, shops, student housing, and leisure into a 4.7-acre site, all engineered so residents would never need to leave their tiny radius. But Glasgow is only the latest battleground in a coordinated worldwide assault. The elite, through the World Economic Forum, UN Agenda 2030, and C40 cities, are forcing this model everywhere. It says in South Florida, Tri-Rail is anchored dozens of high-density 15-minute developments stretching from West Palm Beach to Miami. It says Tri-Rail could anchor dozens of 15-minute city projects across South Florida. Concept centers on people living within just a 15-minute rail ride from their jobs, with restaurants, grocery stores, coffee shops, and more. It says Cleveland is pushing government-backed 15-minute cities neighborhoods citywide. Cleveland's 15-minute city journey. So this is being done. All right, it says these aren't urban upgrades, they're contaminant zones. The official line is sustainability and convenience, but the real goal is control. Everything you need, work, food, healthcare, education, stays within 15 minutes. Cars are phased out. Movement is tracked via digital IDs and ultimately what? RFID microchips, carbon allowances, and surveillance. Leaving your zone becomes restricted, fined, or penalized under climate pretext. So if you leave your zone, you can be fined. And ultimately you're not gonna be able to your so-called CHIP is not gonna be able to work outside of your zone. So it says the CV-19 lockdowns were the test balloon. Didn't we just say that? And according to the global elite, the public demonstrated that they will comply with authoritarian orders. Because a lot of people complied, man. A lot of people followed those bullshit ass regulations because of a plan, a carefully orchestrated plan. A
Right.
lot of people in the world complied and took that snake venom and was very scared, and they willingly gave up all of their freedom.
You know, it's amazing how people comply with the wills of the devil, but it's so hard to comply with the will of the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai.
That's right. Um It says instead they prefer to surrender it for security, bread, and guidance from authority. In the end, they will lay their freedom out at your feet and say to us, "Make us your slaves, but feed us." Let's see. The global elite are now playing the role of the Grand Inquisitor. It says the end game is clear. Traditional society, free movement, family road trips, spontaneous travel will be dismantled. The elite don't need barbed wire. They use well-being and community as invisible bars. Once these zones are locked in, escaping your 15-minute prison could mean drones, penalties, or worse. This is happening right now. The cages are being built in plain sight. Wake up before your city becomes the next open air prison. Resist while you still can. Let's see, so as the title of this article says, 15-minute city nightmare unleashed. Glass Glow joins worldwide 2024-26 open air prison rollout. And there are many other articles. Let's see. That's just the newest one. This one came out in last year, March 3rd, 2025. British rise up against World Economic Forum's 15-minute city. Public destroys cameras, 50,000 to 5 fines. 15-minute city equals open prisons. So people are waking up, man, to what these devils are really planning. Let me see. Can you get Sirach chapter 12, verse 10? The scriptures tell you don't trust your enemy. We know Esau Edom is Esau, Edom is our enemy, and we don't trust him. We don't trust nothing that he's rolling out, nothing that he's done, because you're also gonna get another precept, because Esau always divides in iniquity. He's always up to something, up to no good. You got it out.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, starting at verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High,
Hold on, bro.
and his heart.
That's a good precept though, because Esau is all about pride. You know, he's not. Do you think that this is a godly plan? No, it's not. The precept is Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. But you can finish reading that.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker.
Right. His heart is, Esau's heart is not with the Most High. And the scriptures tells you right here, Psalms 10 and 4. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts.
That's right.
The wicked are too proud to seek the Most High. They seem to think that God is dead. See? So Esau's heart is not with the Most High, because these plans that they want to bring upon you are not something that is actually going to benefit you. You see, they make it seem like they're coming to you in a godly stance, like they want to better humanity. They want to make your life, look, we want to make your life better. Okay, let us put you in a safe and secure environment where you are protected, you're given money, everything that you need is only 15 minutes away from you. Just give me your freedom. You cannot leave this place. Everything you need, we will give it to you, because we have your best interest at heart. Yeah, you're right, man. See, this is the bullshit that they selling you, man. That's what they sell you. But the Most High knows that their heart is not with him. These plans that they want to bring are not good. Esau is bringing something. He's always cooking wickedness, man, because that's all he knows. He's accustomed to doing evil. How could he bring something that benefits humanity? You got it out. Read that precept.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
See, so never trust thine enemy, man. You know, just like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. It gets worse. It pollutes everything. Just like when just like rust, wickedness spread if it's not contaminated. I mean, if it's not taken care of. And that's what we're seeing. That's why the scripture says what? Wickedness is as exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Never trust thine enemy. See? So we recognize who our enemy is, and we're telling our people don't trust them. Don't trust these 15-minute cities. Don't trust social credit scores. Don't trust none of this shit. Be aware of it. Because it's nothing but oppression upon you. They make it seem as if it's going to benefit you, but as soon as you get your ass in that 15-minute city, as soon as they chip you up, put you in there, you basically stuck. You can't leave, bro. You can't fucking leave. You are put in contamination zones, but they calling it a city. It's like America. It's like your city's going to be divided up into districts. You can't leave this district. If you leave this district, your chip is not going to work. You see, you're not going to be able to leave. In Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness, he will deal unjustly, and he will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. So let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will they not learn righteousness. You think this is a righteous plan? No, it's not. we supposed to have we have God-given rights. We can own land, we can own property. You see, these things that are in the law, statutes, commandments. We can own land, we can own property, we can own cattle and things of that nature, man. We can have possessions. But you know what they say? You know what these wicked devils say? We don't want you to own anything. We own everything, and we're gonna ration it to you.
That's right.
That's why the scripture says, "You shall go to your enemy for the one in need of all things." These devils control everything, but they're only rationing it to you. They allow you to get these things, but now they allow you to rent houses. They allow you to buy cars, but now they finna take all of that shit away. You get Micah chapter 2, verse 1, because all they doing is devising evil. Because they're pushing you towards, they're forcing the population towards their agenda. Agenda 2030. Lost everybody being chipped up and put in 15-minute cities, 15-minute zones. You got it whenever you get the scripture, bro.
Let me get my sword. This tablet want to start acting like an idiot.
All right, don't worry about it. I already get it. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. I'm gonna read the NLT. It says, "What sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans? You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so." So just because these devils have the power to do something, they're doing it. Whatever they want to do, whatever they devise to do, whatever plans they have, they're bringing it because they want to. They have the power to do it. So they're going to make your life a living hell just because they can. And they're the wicked that the Bible speaks of. This is why we're warning our people. So back to this article. It says most people are familiar with credit scores and how they impact a person's ability to take out a homeowner's loan or other type of borrowing. Now, some countries are looking to social credit scores to manage, keyword manage, their population. When you look at the word manage, it means to handle, train, direct. It says the handling or training of a horse. Because ultimately, they already look at you people as cattle. Goyim. It says to manage, to control or direct by administrative ability. See, they want to control you because the word government, you know what the word government means? It means mind control. They want to control everything. It says China has most widely reported, but of China are the most widely reported, but of course there is plenty of speculation as to whether this could roll out to other countries in the future. While population management to prevent chaos, such as enforcement of basic laws, is reasonable, social credit scores tend to take this to the next level. Could you survive the social credit score? It says we're all familiar with credit scores, where financial institutions track how responsible you are with your hard-earned money to assign you a value determining the loans and credit and cards you are eligible to apply for. However, a new scoring system being trialed in China. How would the social credit score affect me? This system monitors a lot more than your financial savviness. It involves governmental and financial institutions ranking your everyday behavior, both online via CCTV monitoring, and have been dubbed the social credit score. Essentially, everything from the way you spend your money and behave on social media to the people you associate with would affect your score and whether you are rewarded or punished. What are the punishments for having a bad social credit score? The idea of punishing people for not complying with the wishes of the state is clearly alarming, but that's exactly what happens with the social credit score system. While missing a few payments might might mean you pay a slightly higher interest rate on borrowing, as in the case with bad credit homeowner loans. Social credit takes it to the next level. The punishment includes slower internet connections, travel restrictions, banning people from flights, being barred from getting business class train tickets, being refused access to the best hotels. Your children can be banned from higher education. You could be prevented from getting getting the best jobs, pets being taken off you, and no access to credit. So this is the system of a social credit score, man. So go back to this article. British rise up against WF 15-minute city. Public destroys cameras. 15,000 defy fines. It says the dystopian urban planning concept, which aims to create compact and confined communities where essential services are within a 15-minute walk or bike ride, has faced severe resistance from the British public. It says at the heart of the backlash is the extensive network of cameras installed to enforce ultra low emission zones and other zero emissions schemes tied to 15-minute framework. See, that's what they're using. They saying, the emissions are the problem. When they create the cars that pollute the air. But then they're gonna punish you for actually using some shit that they fucking created. And using it as an excuse to restrict your freedoms, so-called freedoms. We don't got no liberty here, man. And people are gonna find that shit out the hard way. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Be not ignorant in anything, great or small. Can you get the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 17? Because a lot of our people are ignorant to these things, but they need to be made aware of them. That's why we're doing these videos. You will own and be happy. 15-minute cities. You need to know about these things because this is what they're bringing. They're building apartments everywhere. People stacked up on top of each other like sardines. You not owning anything. They're just going to stick you inside of an apartment, inside of a zone.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 5, starting at verse
15.
15.
Mhm.
Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small.
So don't be of anything. Don't be ignorant of nothing, man. So you don't need to be ignorant of this. You don't think it's important? It very is. You got to know about these things. And then you have companies like, I believe, BlackRock. They buying up all the homes. See, BlackRock is buying up all the homes. It's some reports that saying they're not buying them, but they are. So they're taking ownership of all of the homes. What does that leave you with? Nothing. They buying up all the homes and they're gonna put your ass in a fucking 15-minute city inside of a goddamn apartment. All right, it says these cameras designed to penalize drivers of older, non-compliant vehicles and restrict people to tightly confined areas have become symbols of globalist overreach for many. So this article came out last year in March 2023. I'm sorry, 2024. Damn, not 2024, it's 2025. I'm sorry. Damn, lucky. So as you can see, man, the whole world, you need to be aware of this 15-minute concept, 15-minute city concept, because it's going to play a role on what you do on a day-to-day basis, whether you can leave your home or not. It says this is a Trojan horse. Developers LA burn areas for 15-minute city transformation. So you remember those fires that happened in LA?
Right.
Now they want to rebuild it, and they're going to rebuild it into some 15-minute cities. This is California Governor Gavin Newsom is facing criticism amid reports that he is collaborating with developers to rezone fire-ravaged areas of the Palisades into high-density 15-minute city hubs. The alleged involves top-down government-driven urban blah blah blah. You get it? So
You know, there was rumors that those fires was set deliberately anyway. Probably
Yeah.
for that same reason.
Yeah, so this article came out in February 18, 2024. America's first 15-minute city created in Tempe, Arizona. Tempe, Arizona. It says a Tempe, Arizona neighborhood called Cul-de-sac is the first community in the nation to be designed around car-free living. Yeah, because cars are the problem, right? The emissions are the problem. Yeah. We got to go green. Yeah, we got to go green. All that bullshit. Cul-de-sac is being described as America's first example of a 15-minute city, a vision promoted by globalist elite. See, when did you Americans vote on this? Did we miss that vote, brother? When did y'all vote on this? When this is a free country, right? When did y'all vote on this concept?
That's right.
It says and the concept is being pitched as a environmentally friendly place where residents can get to know their neighbors better. Who the fuck wants to get to know their neighbors better? Living in 15-minute city on top of each other like fucking sardines, you can hear your neighbors having sex. You want to get to know them?
That speaks volumes too. You know, when did they vote on that? Why wasn't we informed? That just go to show you that your vote don't count no damn way. It's whatever they want to do.
That's right. And look at this shit. I guess this is the picture of it. Look at this. You stacked on top of each other like sardines, man. Come on, man. It says, of course, the development will be used to push similar Agenda 2030 nightmare neighborhoods across America. This is the solution. This is what these devils want to bring. Okay, I think that's it. So, yeah, that's another article about 15-minute cities.
You know, when people's when people are in the same proximity to each other, you know, especially if they're close, there's going to be a lot of animosity and a lot of, you know, hatred and different things coming out. You know, and that's what they want. They want chaos.
Yeah. It says cars to be banned by 2030 under WEDF 15-minute city plans. Travel is not a human right. What? You can't even travel anymore. So lucky. So we can't be ignorant of this, man. This plays right into the future, so-called future that these devils want to bring. Let's see. Can you get the book of Psalms chapter 17, verse 13?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17, starting at verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
So arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him. We want the Lord to disappoint the plans of the elite. We want the Lord to cancel their plans, agenda, things that they have devised to do. The Lord is not going to allow this. Esau wants to bring complete oppression upon you people, but they sell it to you like what they have to offer you is better for you. But that's where trust comes in, because you don't supposed to trust these devils. Don't take the CHIP. Don't trust these 15-minute cities. Don't trust nothing that these devils say or they do or they plan to do. So read that scripture again. Disappoint. We want the Lord to disappoint them.
I had dropped the Psalms. I had dropped
17, 13.
tablet one ike up. Hold on just a minute. I got it. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Right, which is the sword. I'm typing something in ChatGPT real quick. All right. On ChatGPT, I typed in, is God against Israelites owning property? It says the question touches a religious concept, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skim through some of this. All right, it says in the Hebrew Bible / Old Testament, God is not against Israelites owning property. In fact, land ownership is a central theme. God promises, the Most High promises land to the Israelites, especially in books like Genesis, Exodus, and Joshua. Land is seen as a gift from the Most High, but with conditions. Israelites are expected to live justly and follow God's laws while occupying it. However, there are important limits and principles. The land ultimately belongs to the Most High, and the Israelites are considered stewards, not absolute owners. See Leviticus 25. There are laws like the Jubilee year where land would return to original families, preventing permanent loss of inheritance and extreme inequality. And Esau is causing a system where it's going to be extreme inequality. The poorer are going to get poorer, and the rich are going to get richer. They already own everything. You have Bill Gates buying up all the farmland. Why the hell is he doing that? Let's go to Bill Gates. Buying farmland. Why is he doing that? You see, why ain't nobody talking about this, man? It says Bill Gates is the largest private farmland owner in the United States with roughly 275,000 acres across 19 states. His holdings, purchased with candidate Cascade Investments, are intended as long-term investment in sustainable farming and agricultural productivity rather than a grand scheme. Like, come on, bro. Why the fuck does this dude own all this fucking farmland? Why ain't nobody paying? Why ain't nobody saying nothing about that? Why is it being ignored? What's the reason? It ain't good. I'll tell you that. All right, it says in later traditions in Judaism, owning property is generally acceptable and normal, but ethical use of it is emphasized. So as you can see, the Most High is not against people owning property. And you can actually read scripture that shows you that. You know, we had land, we had sustainability, we lived off the land. The Lord gave us the fruits of the field to live off of. You see, He gave us the land. The land is going to yield everything that we need. But Esau is saying, I want to own everything. And I'm going to give you the option to use it. He's acting like he's God. Because he's going against the Most High. He's going against what the Most High set up for man to do. The Lord gave us He gave us the land, man. The land was created for our sakes, to benefit us. The scripture says even the king benefits from the field. I think it's something like that. King. I'm gonna get ready to close this session out. Here it is. So Ecclesiastes 5:9, it says, moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. See, NLT says even the king milks the land for his own profit. So the profit of the earth is for all. Why are these devils, if the scripture says this, then why are they hoarding everything to themselves? Why you can't own nothing, and you got to be happy with that? While Bill Gates owns all the farmland,
Right.
and he's making generic. He just came out with a new meat. I believe it's lab tested meat, lab grown meat. Here it is. Bill Gates is a permanent investor in lab grown cultivated meat, aiming to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and environmental impact from traditional animal agriculture. So there you go.
Trying to package it as you said earlier, he trying to package it as if it's more beneficial to you than just regular meat.
Yeah, a bunch of lab grown meat, but it's good for you. Trust me, I'm the devil. Trust me, I'm gonna make. The Lord didn't do it right. The Most High Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua didn't do it right. I'm gonna make meat the right way. The Lord didn't do it right. That's basically what this devil's doing. That's basically what they're saying. The Lord didn't do it right. It says the BBE on that Ecclesiastes 5:9. It says BBE says it is good generally for a country where the land is worked to have a king. Hold on, I don't like that translation. Let's see what the AMP says. I need to bring the AMP up. All right. Damn it. My bad. Where was I? Verse 9. It says, after all, AMP says, after all, a king who cultivates the field is an advantage to the land. So everybody benefits from, land, from the land. That's how the Most High set things up. So hopefully this lesson was edifying. Hopefully you learned something. For those that may not know about 15-minute cities, hopefully you learned something through the Spirit and Power by Shema Shah. We have to be aware of these things. We have to know about these things. We can't be ignorant of these things, because these things are actually going to happen in the times we're living in now. They're already making 15-minute cities. They're already doing all of these plans that they're devising. And that's why we want the Most High to corrupt and stop them in their tracks, which he's ultimately going to do. That's why this world war is being brewed. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. We're going to close out by giving our praises and the glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule us well. Much peace, love, and salutations to the whole elect, pushing this word of truth to sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.